All right, so this course is designed to take you from 0 to fully operational in just 2 weeks. Each day will tackle a key piece of your business setup, from branding and website creation all the way to automation and analytics. Here's what to expect. There's going to be hands-on, step-by-step lessons to build your business efficiently. We have quizzes to reinforce what you learn and unlock new courses. And I've tried to develop a streamlined workflow to save you as much time and energy as possible along the way, not to mention frustration. Here's what you'll accomplish. Pre-launch, I'm going to have you check out my presentation on branding. Then treat yourself to a day to get in touch with your business on a biblical level. I'm going to show you how to leverage AI to sound like your business and you exactly the way you want to be represented 24 hours a day. You're going to create 5 documents for your business that explain how your business should be represented, what colors should be used for your business, what fonts should be used for your business, all the FAQ answers you could possibly think of, and how your brand voice should sound when anybody's speaking for your business, whether it's a AI or a human or a chatbot or whatever. By the time we get to the end, this should be exhaustive and redundant. We want to know everything that there is to know, and we want to know it from a couple different angles so that there's never any questions or need to get you involved with things that there's not needed. We don't need to get you involved in the things that you don't need to be involved with. A lot of times clients are coming to us requesting information. We can get them that information with a better customer service than we can be expected to when we're in the middle of business. So once we officially get to day 1, we're going to do the business setup and the system walkthrough. This is just going to take all of your business information, the phone number you're using, your website, all of that stuff, and just put it in here. If you don't have any of that yet, that's totally fine. You can come back and do it. We just want to get the core elements down because there's a few key systems that need to go together to make the system work right. On day 2, we'll talk about website and domain setup. If you have purchased a domain through Bold Booking, or if you have a domain offsite, I will help you set that up so that you have all the URLs that you need to make this happen. We're going to want a branded URL. We're going to want your email set up. We're going to want all these things to happen so that everything works together, and that later at a later date, when you decide to make a course or a community or a group, the groundwork has already been laid for you to do that. We're not going to worry about design work yet, but in order to get the text messages to work, you need A2P verification, and that means automation to person verification. This is going to be key to sending out reminders and things of this nature. What they're going to want to see when you're getting this, what they're going to want to see for your registration is that you have a form where people have to opt in to allowing you to contact them via this method. And so we're going to make that. I already have that in your snapshot. And then we're going to have a privacy policy and terms and conditions page. And so all that has to launch after you pick your phone number to go to the A2P registration page to be able to use the phone number for all of your automations and everything else. That's why we kind of do it this way. Of the whole thing, sometimes changing numbers in your domain can take a couple of days. And sometimes the A2P verification can take 2 or 3 days. Logo creation is usually a longer period of time. These are some of the things that take longer with your build. So I would definitely get all those in order as early as possible so that if you need any downtime, you can fill that downtime doing other things. On day 3, we're going to talk about the phone and SMS marketing, whether you want to market with it or you just want to contact clients or you just want to answer questions or whatever you want to do. We're going to talk about all things phone systems, and we're going to get your phone number purchased and your A2P registration started. What you're going to want to do is just copy the stuff from the documents that are linked into the folder and understand what they're asking for. They want to know that you have a form with a button that allows people to opt in and a way for them to opt out. On that form, your privacy policy, terms and conditions need to be linked. So they want to see all this stuff set up, and they want to see that it's your number is being registered to a business and that the business name is the same everywhere. So whatever your business name is the same as your LLC, is the same as your registered account is, and everything is connected. And yes, we all hate robocallers, so please just don't be a part of that. Unless it's for appointment confirmation, and then I think it's okay. So on day 4, we're going to talk about the app, Lead Connector. So this is the app you're going to put on your phone or tablet to connect with the service. that doesn't have all the functionality of the site. You can't go redesign things or anything, but you can use the social media poster, and you can use all the conversational tools. You can invoice people from there. There's a lot of stuff that you can do from the app, so you're going to want to know how to do that. Day 5 is website day 2 plus funnel and blog setup. So what's the difference between a website and a funnel? A website is your whole suite of pages, right? A funnel is the way that a client's going to get from their entry point, your landing page, into a sale, right? So it's going to be trying to push people towards a certain objective, whether that's up, down, left, right, however it is for you. That's what's going on. And so that's called a funnel. So we want to make sure that we know the difference. You can use your website pages in your funnels. You can also make new pages in your funnels. There's all kinds of stuff you can do, including making different landing pages for each funnel, so that when you connect your Facebook or Google Pixel, it's tracking what actual event took place that they're calling a sale or a win in the advertising department. We're also going to touch that day on what your blog is and how to use it. I've definitely made some tools that make blogging way easy, right? If you're trying to write a blog, there's a bunch of stuff you need, and you have to make sure that it all happens every time. And if you have a person for that, awesome. When you write your blog, you're sharing your knowledge, and that's how the Google search engines find you. Actually, you're on the web and they call it spiders. So that's how it works. On your blog, with good SEO practices, you also want links to other sites, and you want other sites to have links to you. That's called backlinks. So one thing that I sell here, it's a separate service, is a blogging agent. And it's basically like, I set you up with a form. You type into the form, the blog gets written, you edit the blog. That's an add-on service. We're going to talk about that later. That's not for this course at all. And that's not through the base service. That's just an extra add-on that I've built myself. The benefit of doing it that way is that if we're all watching each other's blogs and putting our links in back and forth, then our web and our net grows bigger and faster. And the theory is that that's going to make everything so much better for everybody participating. And of course, at a much better rate. And hopefully at a much better rate than was previously available to us. So day 6, we're going to talk about emails and newsletters. I am not the newsletter guy. I'm also not the social media guy. So I'm going to tell you guys what I can about all of these things. And then we're going to move forward. And some of it we're learning together and some of it we're perfecting together. But we're going to configure your email marketing and build a launch sequence. Depending on when you've gotten into this course, there might also be a 12-month newsletter setup and an automation so that you can just know that every month you have a newsletter coming out. And then on 5 days before the newsletter comes out, you get a message that says, hey man, update all the stuff in the newsletter. It's going out in 5 days. And give you plenty of ample time to take care of it. And then hopefully make an automation that says, hey, if this hasn't been updated yet, don't send it out. So we'll get to that point eventually. That's not in the initial setup, but once I do make those videos, I will add them to this course. And so you might get that. The other thing that we're going to do on website day 2 is we're going to pick a couple of templates that you like, and then we're going to build your own template. So we're going to make a couple of universal sections that as you build your site, you can match what's going on in these other templates that you like. You could also use those templates and fill them in, but you can make a template that is your template, and it starts with your header, your footer, your center body piece, or whatever you call it. And then you copy that over to every page so that everything's the same all along the way, and it's all branded and it's perfect and it's you the whole way. So day 7, we're going to talk about the social media scheduler. And I know spreadsheets are like kryptonite to most of us, but they're really not that hard once you know what's going on inside them. And by doing this, we can really maximize our efforts for the post that we're making. So if you were to set up 5 days of posting from every one tattoo, you'll get a lot further than you're probably getting now. Even the most consistent guy I know is like posting an image or a video of each tattoo as they happen. But what if you were able to post on every network with the same energy that it's taken you now to post on one? And what if you could plan that out for days, weeks, or months ahead of yourself, so that that wasn't a daily task that you had to do every day? You could do it in batch. You do it a little bit faster. You'll do it with a little bit more clarity. And you can use help from other tools to amplify your efforts and make things smooth. This is why I recommend to add as much media as you can to your media folder and have folders in there to keep everything separated so that when you post, you're going to post from that media folder. And that will allow you to post to YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, um, and I believe even your communities, if you have communities or if you're in one of my communities. So in any event, definitely check that out. You're going to want to know that. And it'll might be a bit before you're ready to jump into that, but it's pretty informative and it's a real easy way to get stuff done. And I highly recommend it. The one thing is Instagram tends to not like automations, and some things they'll let go and some things they won't. They don't want you adding people or favoriting people or mailing people as spam, but usually in my experience, posting, as long as you're not like spamming the posting, is not such a big deal. So you're going to definitely want to watch your metrics and see how things are going so that you can adjust accordingly. Day 8, website copy and content building. Here's a hint. We're going to ask the chat GPT that we made for you on brand building day what to put in all the spots that are already in the templates. Bam, there you go. And anything else that you need along the way, right? We're going to look at your client journey and we're going to, do we deal with client journey? We're going to take your client's journey into consideration and fill out and populate all the pages that we need to get them all the information they need before they get to you. Day 9, invoice and payment setup. I think this is pretty important because you want to have your branding on all your receipts. And if you have a shop and you want the artist to get a receipt and the shop to get a receipt and the client to get a receipt, you can set that up. Get that going on day 1. Get used to doing the payments that way. It's been great for my business. For a year or 2 years, we used Clover and this other payment gateway. And it was slightly better rate. However, now I've got a workflow that just adds a credit processing fee to it. I let the clients know. I let the clients know 3 or 4 days out that that's what's going to happen. And if they want to go get cash, then please do. I would appreciate it. And so that's kind of the workflow that I recommend. You can do it any way you want. However, on day 9, we're going to set up the invoicing and the payment system. Day 10, we're going to really hammer out your client pipeline and your contact management. So back in the branding phase or somewhere near that, we would have worked out the client pipeline. I would have given you a link to a different GPT. It's not available today because I made it today, but it will be available by the time you watch this video. So we're just going to go with that. And then we're going to build a structured workflow for handling leads so that when somebody comes in, we know where they've come from and we've saved all their information and the right parties have been notified and whatever needs to happen is going to happen. And we're just going to deal with day 1 of what happens when a client calls or emails or fills out a form, or how do they fill out a form? Probably on this day, we're going to deal with forms and surveys as well. So I'm going to make sure to put that in there. I didn't put it in before, but now that I'm thinking of it, that's a great place to put it. So day 12 is pretty easy. We're just going to look at dashboards and analytics, and it's a lot to look at visually, but it's really pretty simple, and you can edit it and make it show whatever you want. So whatever information is important to you, you can employ a custom dashboard, or they have certain dashboards that are pre-made that are already within your system that you'll be able to look at to gauge different metrics within your business as time goes on. So day 13 is memberships and courses. Build gated areas and memberships and courses just like the one that you're in right now. If you have something that you want to share with the world and you want people to come to your place so you sell it at your place, we're going to help you get that all set up and make sure that you know what everything is and where it is when you want to get going on it. Day 14, intro to automation and AI. We're going to cover a lot of this on day 11. We're going to cover a lot of this on day 10, but today we're going to get a lot deeper into the weeds with the automations. On this day, I'm going to introduce you to the voice AI, chatbots, and talk about creating a self-serve knowledge base. Best thing is we've already done all the work for this. ChatGPT, actually, the one that we built for your brand, is going to help us train the chatbots and the AIs and anything else that we need. And so it's going to be this information that you already put in, and you already own the parent document. It's in your Google. I've shown you how to share it by this point. And everybody else, everywhere else it is, there's a link to it. So in in so inside Bold Booking, when you're building your brand voice, you can add the links to those documents, and it's going to help that AI sound just like you. In ChatGPT, you actually need to download the documents and put them into the GPT, and then it'll work for you properly. But between using the ChatGPT leverage and the documents that we've already created, we're going to build you a killer chatbot that can answer questions for your business 24/7 and even book if you want to. You can even give it the option to cancel and reschedule appointments.